Beware of the blob, it creeps and leaps and slides and glides across the floor, right through the door and all around the wall. A splotch, a blotch, be careful of the blob. Beware of the blob, it creeps and leaps and glides and slides across the floor, right through the door and all around the wall. A splotch, a blotch, be careful of the blob. Beware of the blob, it creeps and leaps and glides and slides across the floor, right through the door and all around the wall. A splotch, a blotch, be careful of the blob. Beware of the blob, it creeps and leaps and glides and slides across the floor, right through the door and all around the wall. A splotch, a blotch, be careful of the blob. Beware of the blob, it creeps and leaps and glides and slides across the floor, right through the door and all around the wall. A splotch, a blotch, be careful of the blob. All right, well, I think that's enough of that. I'm seeing these people in their names. Looks like we've got someone in the chat. Bio, we'll just call him Bio. He says, cheers, welcome, Bio. We had 2 people waiting. I'm seeing 0 now, so my singing once again may have scared them away. All right, welcome to Huge Movie Fanatics Radio for this November, 18th, 2021. Where I am, it's like, I don't know, just around freezing Fahrenheit, 32 degrees, some snowflakes in the air somewhere in Minnesota. Welcome, Bio. What's on your mind, Bio? Please don't tell me it's biological warfare. Pretty cool today. Before I even started the show, we got 3 hitchhikers, and there were 2 people waiting. I don't know if you're when you're waiting and the show starts, it shows up. I think you have to like go back and come back to see it. I've tried that once on someone else's. Like I was there waiting, and I think once it depends on, I suppose, what you're using or watching a stream on, but maybe people had to go away and come back to actually hear it. Bio says no, it's bio yogurt. So your username is a bio yogurt brand. That's cool. All right, everyone. So, are we going to have enough material to last 2 hours is the question. I guess while we're waiting for people to show up and talk, I can just talk about what's new with me. Of course, this is the day that Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out exclusively in theaters in this era of releasing things on streaming along with theaters, but I guess it's their way of testing the waters, trying to get people back into theaters and stuff like that. I personally think it's going to possibly hurt the business Ghostbusters Afterlife does. I was torn. I was torn on going back and forth between going to the theater or not to see it, and I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I'm not going to rush to go see it. Bio says no, but everyone says it sounds like bio yogurt. Okay, so his username isn't bio. Oh, I see what he's saying. So his username, people say it sounds like bio yogurt. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have a huge plans on rushing out to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah. So I'll probably see it at some point. Turns out that the new James Bond movie, the last Daniel Craig one, is coming out on Blu-ray. I think December 20th or 21st or something. So that'll be interesting. I'm a Bond fan. I grew up with James Bond. I saw View to a Kill with my parents at the drive-in movie theater in the 80s. So I've got all the Bond movies, and am interested to see the last James Bond. So from what they're telling us, or at least, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But I hear it could have been worse. Haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited to just blind buy that and watch it. In other news, apparently, is it Kino who's gonna supposedly by year's end, and it's getting kind of close. It might not end up happening, but Kino Lorber is supposed to be putting out a Blu-ray, a new 2K scan of New Year's Evil, and putting that on Blu-ray. The Scream Factory one is, from what I understand, out of print, so that's a great news for people who missed out on that release. And I think it's also been recently revealed that Halloween Kills is coming out on Blu-ray January 11th. So, and from what it says on blue-ray.com, there might be two cuts. So hopefully there'll be a cut without the mob shit. Of course, that won't happen. It'll probably be an extended cut with more mob shit, and maybe a third, another uh, escaped killer who they're mistaking as Michael or something like that. That would be hilarious if they made a longer version with two extra escape killers that people were chasing. And in the theatrical, they cut it down to one escape killer that they were chasing. That would be hilarious. But Halloween Kills, from what it says, is possibly going to have two cuts, which will be interesting. I mean, I can't imagine anyone wanting a gorier version of that movie, so it'll be interesting to see the what the two cuts are all about. But as we're waiting for people to show up and talk, God, I'm almost out of. Usually by now people are talking more. What's on your mind, Bio? Oh man, I don't even know if I've got any more to talk about. Usually people are blabbing by now. So, let's see here. Well, because I've been doing those showcasings of Evil Dead VHSs, it kind of got me into the Evil Dead mood. So I've been revisiting the Evil Dead movies, and I've got this. I plan to showcase this. The first one of the first Anchor Bay DVD releases from 1999, and I watched. I did watch. The Blu-ray of Evil Dead, and then for fun, I'm like, well, let's watch this first Anchor Bay DVD that I got just for fun, because I know that they fixed a lot of stuff on the Blu-ray, things, anomalies, visual anomalies that they improve stuff, which I'm not so sure how I feel about it. I mean, I guess I can understand them wanting to do it. Like there's like three or four shots of the moon that were like visual effects shots that were added to shots, and in the original transfers, and including the 1999 one, you can see the square around the moon where it's clearly a different image, pasted onto the image of the woods or the cabin or whatever. They fixed that for the Blu-ray release, and I think they steadied it and stuff and blended it in and stuff, and they fixed a lot of stuff when they did the Blu-ray release, and it was fun to see those things that they fixed on the 2000, or not 2000, 1999 DVD that were back there and as they originally were. And for whatever reason, that shot of the lightning hitting the tree wasn't in the 99 Anchor Bay Blu-ray. But I was surprised how well, for being over 20 years old, the Anchor Bay DVD holds up. God. Bio, anything on your mind? About 9 minutes into the show, and usually have people starting conversations by now. Is this going to be a shorter show than normal? God, it's amazing how I get through so much stuff in 9 minutes. Bio says, I wonder when any interesting horror TV show will come out. Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen that Child's Play show or whatever? What's it called? Chucky or Child's Play show? I hear that some people like it or whatever. I'm not really too into TV shows necessarily. Well, I've said it before, I'm not too much into current movies and shows that are being produced and released these days, because just the elements the agenda stuff that can be found in them is just annoying to me just because of my age. Bio says, yes, but I mean something new. Okay, I got you. It's interesting that, we've got three hitchhikers before the show started, and where are you guys? I guess they just came by to support the show and aren't showing up. So I do have to tell you at this point, I'm like, okay, is this going to last 2 hours? We shall see. I feel like I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about as we wait for people to show up if they're gonna and contribute in chat if they're gonna. This is what I'm talking about. Like, is a week do we is a weekly show too much? Should I do every other week? I don't know. But I guess shows have started slow in the past. Looks like I'm seeing two people now here versus just the one. Welcome if you're here. Who is it? If you want to say who it is. Oh, I guess I was talking about revisiting the Evil Dead series. Yeah, I mean, it's my point of view that for my money, the first one is the best one, and then they just get worse and worse. But I really, really loved the first one, and it was really cool to revisit it on the 1999 Anchor Bay DVD in its like original unaltered form. Bio says, yeah, there's a little bit of what in Child's Play TV show. Yeah, of course there is. But I really, really love the first Evil Dead, and I just watched or rewatched Evil Dead 2 last night for not having seen it for I don't know, maybe a year or more. And I got to tell you, I mean, it's like technically better and stuff, but the slapstick aspect of it just doesn't do a whole hell of a lot for me. The older I get, the less I like Evil Dead 2, and obviously Army of Darkness even less. So it's kind of like the older I get, the more the Evil Dead, the original movie, is almost just like its own. Like I'm just I love that and not so much the sequels these days. As a teenager, I loved Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness and stuff. Oh God. 12 minutes, 13 minutes in, I don't know what else to talk about. Biles says, have you watched Ash versus the Evil Dead? Yeah, I got way back when I got the first season of that. And I think last year I was able to get the complete series Blu-ray collection for cheap around this time of year. So I have yet to do seasons 2 and 3. It's cool. And honestly, I'm glad they did the 3 season show versus just the fourth movie because I mean, what would you rather have? Like 90 more minutes of Ash versus Evil Dead, or I don't know what the all 3 seasons combined is, 15 hours worth. So it is really cool that they did the TV show on I guess the Stars or whatever channel or whatever the hell it is, so they could have it be just gore. I mean, it wasn't like a TV show on normal TV where they're you can they were able to have just gore like it was just normal Evil Dead and stuff. So you know, I can't I haven't seen the season one for a couple of years. I remember liking aspects of it, but again, it's that post first film goofy Ash and stuff. But um, I'm like, yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is just rewatch season one again before I do 2 and 3 and stuff. But what I really thought was cool about the show, remembering season one, was Sam Raimi directed the first episode, and it was just so cool because it really felt like the first episode of the show really kind of felt like the first movie. It really just had certain aspects of it had the first movie vibes to it and stuff, and that was really cool. I would imagine he would come back to direct more episodes. I don't know very well the much about the show, but obviously I would imagine he'd possibly direct more episodes, maybe the first episode of 2 and 3 or the last episode. Who knows? But it was cool that Sam Raimi directed the first episode of the first season. And yeah, I'm gonna watch, rewatch season one and do the season two and three of Ash versus Evil Dead. This show was pretty cool. And I'm not gonna say it, completely sucks. It's cool. I just I'm just so much of a fan of just the original movie where it just had, for me, it had the perfect element elements of horror and humor, where the humor was in the horror and it wasn't like separate. Like it was so over the top that it was funny. Like the gore was so over the top it was funny. Whereas the second one is just like, ugh, just way too much of the Three Stooges shit for me. Bio says there's such a strange tone to it. I couldn't figure out if it was a drama or a comedy. Are you referring to the Ash versus Evil Dead show? Because I can remember the first season being, having all kinds of goofy aspects and stuff. One element I thought was cool was, like, doesn't he have like several hand attachments? And I think his go-to one is just like a wooden hand or something. Bio says, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think from what I can remember of season one, it was a combination of, I suppose, they have to have drama, in episodic TV, they have to have that element, I guess, of quote unquote drama to keep people coming back or whatever. But yeah, kind of a goofy blending of horror, drama, and episodic, soap operanism and comedy and whatever. Looks like we've got Physical Media Fanatic here. Welcome. He says, hello. We've actually got, for the first time in the chat, Jesus Christ. I guess he has returned. We got Jesus Christ in the chat. Out of all the shows that are streaming, he has showed up in mine. He says Chucky is a what show, but I enjoy it. My dad doesn't like the show at all because he thinks it's horrible for kids to watch and influences their behavior since it has a lot of what stuff. Yeah, how old are you, Jesus Christ? Sounds about probably closer to my age. People my age and older just really don't go in for all the bullshit they're pushing these days for understandable reasons. Bios says it's obviously more of a comedy, but then important characters die horribly. Okay, thanks for ruining it. Just kidding. Jesus Christ is 35. Okay. I hear you were crucified at 33, but yeah, so Biles says, well, according to that big book, he says a different word, but I don't want to say that word. It's amazingly enough, it's amazing that I said the guy's name as many times as I said. Yeah, I think I said it last week that, because of my age, I'm just really not into what they're releasing so much these days. Not to say that things don't slip through the cracks that I like. Like, for example, I don't think I really talked about it much, but I think Gretel and Hansel was really, really pretty cool. Like, very, very stylistic. There are movies that slip through the cracks that are enjoyable. There was another one, I can't remember what it was, but it does happen. JC says, I like the kills in the show, but think it doesn't need other stuff in the show. My dad critiques the kills too much. He is saying stuff like it would never happen in real life, which kills with the kills Chucky does on the show. Well, that's kind of goofy. I mean, movies and TV shows aren't real life, so sounds like he's picky on the show. Physical Media Fanatic says, I saw Prisoners recently. I was blown away. What the hell is that? A movie or a TV show? Media Fanatic says movie. Okay, is it old, new? I should know. I'm the fanatic. If it's newer, I don't really follow so much of new movies. Gary Page says, "Hi Nate, sorry I'm late. Thumbs up. That's okay. Welcome." What do I always say? Life comes first. That's true. I was kind of panicking the first, I don't know, 15 minutes because it was like just me and bio in here, and I was like, God, what am I going to talk about while I wait for people to hopefully show up and start blabbing? But welcome, Gary. Okay, so Prisoners is from 2013. Yeah, I can't say I'm familiar with it. And JC says Prisoners reminds me of the horror movie Prison from 1987 just by the name only, obviously. Have any of you ever seen Prison 1987? I don't think I have. I've mentioned before, either in videos or the show, that I'm not a big prison enthusiast, which means I'm not a very big prison movie enthusiast, but that's just me. Looks like we've got Jason Some. Welcome. Oh, okay. He says, "Damn, set my phone to noon and missed this on time. That's all right. You showed up. Welcome. Would have been, I'm not complaining, but it would have been nice. Never mind. I'm not gonna rat on people that don't show up in time. And I'm just grateful they show up at all." Physical Media Fanatic says, "Have you seen Untold Story?" No, I haven't heard of it. Welcome, Jason. From what I understand, it's his day off, so he's able to show up for the show. Welcome, welcome everyone. Thanks everyone for showing up. What's going on with Gary Page? Yeah, I've never been a fan of prison movies. I mean, just because for me the atmosphere and environment of a movie is really really important. And I personally I don't like the atmosphere and the environment of a prison, so why would I enjoy a movie that takes place there? But there's so many movies, especially in the old days, but in general that are made that are like prison movies, and I've never understood why people would want to watch those. But that's just me. I'm more about movies that take place in the outdoors, in the woods, and stuff like that. That's why I'm so big on Evil Dead and Friday the 13th movies, and Go Out in the Woods and Die movies, because I just love the scenery and the atmosphere and the environment of the movies. You can have a movie like The Prey, which is like one of the most boring movies, and even the even the natural beauty atmosphere of that movie doesn't really even save it. But so there, you can have a movie that's not necessarily even that good if it just takes place in the woods, like Don't Go in the Woods, for example. um, just the environment for me makes it enjoyable to watch. Media Fanatic says, oh, I already read that. Jason Sum says, hello. The prison thing was a sleazy grindhouse subgenre. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to say people that like it shouldn't like it. I'm just saying that I don't like it. It's like, I remember back when Stallone was huge. Was this like that late 80s or early 90s? And he did that lockup or whatever. I'm like, because in the 80s, I liked Rambo and not so much Rocky, but I liked the Rambo movies and stuff. And I want to say my dad and I saw Lockup at the drive-in theater. And I was like, was that after Rambo 3? It could have been. And, I was a pretty big Stallone fan in the 80s, and we went to see Lockup, and I was like, God damn it, this is just boring, depressing crap. For me, if you like Lockup, that's cool. Oh, interesting. Media Fanatic asks if I've seen Phantom of the Mall. Yeah, from what I remember, that came out in like late 90s, or late 80s, early 90s. And I think we may have rented it back when it was new on home video. It's like Eric's Revenge. I can remember seeing articles about it in Fangoria or something like that. I may have seen it back then, but if I had, I haven't seen it since. I think there's a is there a new Blu-ray release of that? Phantom of the Mall. Yeah, I can't remember anything about it. Gary asks, "What are my favorite Bill Murray films?" Well, I'd say probably his first one is first on my list, which is Meatballs, and probably after that, I would imagine Ghostbusters. Probably, I'm not the biggest fan of Stripes, as I've kind of talked about in my Stripes VHS showcasing. So probably Meatballs, then Ghostbusters, and honestly, I don't have a whole lot of favorite Bill Murray movies. I mean, I like Scrooged a lot, but the problem with Scrooged is I kind of feel like, well, you'd only want to really watch that around this time of year. But definitely Meatballs and Ghostbusters are my top two that I can think of. I mean, Groundhog Day is fine, but it gets the I don't know. That for me that gets old quick. It's not really for me. It's not really necessarily a good movie for rewatch value. Honestly, I think another really good Bill Murray movie is The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Um, my mom and I have been doing a Wes Anderson whatchamacallit thing where we started at Bottle Rocket, and last year I got Bottle Rocket and Rushmore Criterion Blu-rays for 50% off. So we started at the beginning and doing like a Wes Anderson filmography. So I think Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is a really great Bill Murray movie. That might be my third that I can think of right now. So Meatballs, Ghostbusters, and Life Aquatic. But I love him in Rushmore as well. He's got the perfect Bill Murray is a perfect actor to complement with the Wes Anderson movies, and so there. Thanks for the question. Jason Sums says Lockup is very underrated in his opinion. Well, that's cool. We can't all like the same things. Media Fanatic says yes from Arrow. Okay, so I think Arrow Video put out recently, possibly this year, Phantom of the Mall. Jason Sum says Arrow bought the rights to Phantom of the Mall. It's a beautiful box set. And then he says, "How about Quick Change, an overlooked Murray film that gets very overlooked?" Yeah, I can remember that being brand new on home video. I've actually still got a VHS of that. I didn't really like that so much. I want to say Bill Murray directed it. Um, I don't hate it, but it doesn't blow my ass off. But I remember that being a big movie kind of at the time, like, ooh, Bill Murray's not only in it, but he directed it. I remember after the success of Ghostbusters, he's kind of like, well, shit. The only place I can really go after this success is down. So he took like a long time off. Did he not do? I don't think he did a movie with the starring role until Scrooged. I mean, he appeared in stuff like Little Shop of Horrors and stuff, but I don't think he was in a starring role until Scrooged after Ghostbusters, if memory served. But it seemed like a long time when you're a kid. But I think it was just 4 years between those two movies. But Quick Change is, it's I don't hate it. I've still got, as I said, I've still got the VHS. That recently came out on Blu-ray, I think. Quick Change. But yeah, good call. I forgot about that one. Gary says, yeah, early 80s films were good. Rushmore was great. Yeah, I, I've always had and I don't think I really ever talked about it on the channel, but I really don't talk about Wes Anderson movies. But part of me likes Wes Anderson and part of me doesn't. Like, part of me thinks his style is almost too stylistic, but then another part of me is like, that's a cool style. So I don't know. I have this tug of war with Wes Anderson movies. Like, but for the most part, I like them. I kind of regret buying the Criterion Blu-ray of Bottle Rocket. I remember that movie being funnier than it is, but that's okay. Media Fanatic says Phantom of the Paradise is a better film than Phantom of the Mall. Yeah, I've got the DVD of that. I found out about that like in the mid '90s after I seen Suspiria. I was all freaking in love with Jessica Harper, and I'm like, what else is she in? What else is she in? I gotta see her in something else. And I think at the time in the mid '90s, I wasn't really crazy about Phantom of the Paradise, but I've since got the DVD and have lightened up on it. But Jason Sum says, "What John Candy film would you say is overlooked?" Oh God, Summer Rental. I don't know how many people really talk or know much about Summer Rental. I back in God, was it 2018? It was years ago. I did a review of Summer Rental, and I mentioned that my grandma I almost saw Summer Rental in the theater with my grandma. I can remember being in her basement looking at the Showtime section in the paper, and there's the little black and white poster, for Summer Rental, and um, with him stepping over the chick and in the bathing suit on the beach. And we almost saw Summer Rental, and my grandma chickened out. I don't know, maybe she thought it'd be too risque for young Nate at that time, but god damn, I wish I could say I saw Summer Rental in the theater. But I would end up growing up with Summer Rental, and Summer Rental's fun for me. The only thing I'm not crazy about it is like the how it gets all serious at the end of the movie, like with the old regatta. Was that what it's called? Regatta? I think the boat race thing gets a little too serious, but I mean, I don't know. I can understand them wanting to not just have a goofy movie, but I don't know how I feel about the whole boat race thing, but Summer Rental definitely comes to mind first. That's classic. I don't know how many people know about that. It's like John Candy's version of, National Lampoon's Vacation. Gary says Harry Crumb. Matt's here. He says, "Yo, I'm here, bro." He says, "Yes, you are. Thanks for being here. I'm seeing a whopping 5 hitchhikers. Thank you, everyone." But Jason, some to answer the question, that would be my answer. Summer Rental is probably the John Candy movie I would say is most overlooked. Not a big fan of Harry Crumb, honestly, but that's okay. I can't really remember it. I've got the DVD. I wasn't a big fan of Uncle Buck necessarily either. For me, the John Candy movies are like Summer Rental and Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Jason Sum says, "Yeah, you're right. Summer Rental is overlooked. There's one where he's stuck inside a soap opera. He's a writer, forgot the name. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of his that I'm unfamiliar with and ones that I may not have seen." Media Fanatic says, "I going pass on the Phantom of the Mall for way better releases coming from Eureka and 88 Films, two favorite Blu-ray labels. Arrow comes third." That's cool. Gary says, "Great Outdoors, another classic." Yeah, I think I reviewed that around the same time I reviewed Summer Rental years ago, and I'm not, well, for reasons that I say in that review. I mean, I don't hate it, but for me it's not one of my favorites. But what's cool about that is it's not only John Candy, but it's Dan Aykroyd, so it's kind of the duo, like with John Candy and Steve Martin and Trains and Planes, which reminds us that it's like exactly a week away from the old Thanksgiving freaking whatchamacallit holiday. So we got to get out our DVDs and Blu-rays of the two movies by the name of Blood Rage and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I'm seeing a whopping seven hitchhikers. That could almost be a record for the show. Thank you, everyone. Oh, you know what? That's probably Matt doing 3 thumbs up with his 3 separate accounts. Well, I still appreciate it. He's done that before, which is appreciated. What's great nowadays is if you get a thumbs down, no one can see it. Oh, okay. Wow, Matt didn't even do a thumb up yet. Wow. Okay, Matt, go do your 3 thumbs up. Will really be up there. Okay, Jason Sum says depends on what version you watch. Great Outdoors says the infamous TV cut, which is butchered, somewhat funny. Yeah, I mean, I've got the DVD, so I imagine it's the theatrical cut. I can't remember. It seems like I may have seen that at a second run theater with my dad. Probably. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like the majority of the Great Outdoors. You can, I just, there's just elements to it that I'm not crazy about, but of which, if you want to know more about that, feel free to check out my review after the show. I go in depth in my feelings about that movie, but holy mother, what's going on? This must be a glitch. I'm seeing 12. This is definitely a glitch. 12 hitchhikers with 4 people here. Okay. I think Matt's hacking us. Thank you, Matt. Matt still says he didn't thumb up yet at all. No, that wasn't okay. I think he's fucking with us. I think he's got 12 accounts. Okay, he's laughing his ass off. He says it was him this time. Okay. Here I'm thinking the world's actually getting better, and it was Matt just pretending. Bio says 13 likes. Okay, I'm seeing 12, but this show we just show up and count the likes. Oh god. Matt says no, I just added like 4. Can one peep is can people just keep hitting it? Can the same person keep hitting it now? Because I know they recently changed their thing where you can't see the dislikes anymore. I'm seeing 13 now, 5 listeners. Welcome everyone. Jason Sum says there are actually TV cuts that add to the original film. I gave a thumbs up before I came in. Thank you for that, Jason. Matt says no, I don't know. Oh, I think he's saying no, that one person can't leave multiple likes on one account. Something's up now because I'm seeing 14 likes. I mean, there's freaking 3 people here. Unless people are just showing up and liking and leaving. I don't think we've ever had 14 likes. Something's going on. Something's going on. Jason says, no, I tried doing a second thumbs up, but it went down. So I hit it again. Oh, this is ridiculous. 15 thumbs up. What is going on? There's only like 3 or 4 people here. Anyway, I've only seen the theatrical cut of The Great Outdoors, so that's the one I talk about in my review. Yeah, I can still remember, and I think I talked about, I don't know, I talked about this one of my John Candy reviews, or maybe it was, I can't remember if I reviewed Splash. I may have mentioned this in my Splash movie review if I reviewed it, that I can still remember being a kid in the 80s, and we had recorded Splash off TV and watching Splash. And if anyone doesn't know, it's the Daryl Hannah Tom Hanks movie, and it's got John Candy. John Candy is Tom Hanks' brother, I think, in that movie, so he's got a small part. I can remember being a kid in the 80s and watching Splash and saying to myself, this is such a morbid thought for a little kid. But I was saying to myself, someday John Candy's going to be dead and there'll be no more John Candy movies. It was kind of like just this depressing thought, kind of like, oh, there's no Santa Claus, or, oh shit, someday I'm going to die. So it was like along those lines. And I had no idea that he'd be purported to, go on to be purported to have died just a few years after that, and would have been like maybe 5 or 6 years later it would be his purported death would happen. But I hope I wasn't some way involved in that. But I can remember every time I think of John, maybe not every time, but sometimes when I think of John Candy, I always remember that thought I had as a little kid watching Splash. And I was just like, why the hell was I watching Splash? But yeah, Bio says 16 likes. Okay, I'm seeing 15, but maybe what I see happens later. Matt says I'm happy YouTube did away with the downvotes. Yeah, I mean it's good for channels like me, but it's not so great for, if you want to see other I mean, I do see the benefit to them, mostly like with more mainstream corporate kind of material on YouTube, but it's definitely a boon for us smaller channels to have the dislikes thing gone, or at least the ability to see the dislikes. It's better for smaller channels, but then it's harder to see through the bullshit if you're watching bigger channels or stuff. But yeah, I see your point, Matt. Jason Sum says take the credit. I think he's referring to me being responsible for John Candy's death, or I hope he's not meaning that. I don't know what he's. That's the problem with chat is sometimes if you get behind, you don't know what people are talking about. Matt says all the people pissed are the ones who don't make any output themselves that just want to thumb down people's videos. Yeah, it's people that just are pissed at the world and pissed at people that are trying to actually do something and just taking it out on the world. Media Fanatic says, are you a fan of Gary and Sylvia Anderson shows such as Joe 90, Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet? I haven't even heard any of those. Oh, I think I've heard of Thunderbirds, but I haven't heard of the other ones. I haven't seen any of them. Jason Sum says, wasn't Splash on one of those films that cut edited on DVD? I meant take the credit. Jason Sum meant take the credit on the thumbs up. Okay. Meaning like what? This is such an amazing show. The 16 likes are well deserved. I'm not sure if the DVD of Splash got, you know, screwed up from the original version because I can't remember the original version. So I don't know if they screwed up the DVD release of that or not. Wow, we're already 42 minutes into the show. If you listen to it back later on from the beginning, I'm panicking at the beginning. I'm like 15 minutes in. I'm like, oh my God, no one's showing up. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. It's just going to be a short show. But as is per usual, people end up showing up. And thanks everyone for showing up. It's kind of a goofy show this week, but that's okay. We're more talking about the mystery of the likes than anything else, but that's okay. We just go with the flow, don't we? Jason says, I think Disney edited parts of Splash due to, the fake nudity. Okay, it's very possible. Well, yeah, I think that for the record, that's probably why I was watching it as a kid, like Daryl Hannah, was like this sensual, sexy character. So that's probably why I was watching it as a kid. That's before, I was watching Splash before I got into horror movies and stuff where they've actually got naked women in them. But even with Splash, ever since I was a kid, I don't know if I consciously understood it, but I was on some level I was aware of the depressing nature of like kids and family movies, and how they can just be so depressing, and how they have to do that final act thing where it's like, oh, depressing, and we have to split up and she has to get taken by the evil guy or whatever happens in the movie, only to have it be this hopelessness thing, only to have it be a happy ending. And it's just so painful as a kid, to watch those ups and downs they do, like with ET dying only to come back alive, and bashing the shit out of Johnny Five and Short Circuit 2, only for him to be like, isn't he like brand new and like gold plated at the end of that? And it's just like they torture kids so much with them family movies and stuff. 17 freaking thumbs up. Something's going on. Jason Sum says it's not a bad flick. Yeah, I mean Daryl Hannah, 19, in the 80s. What's not to like? I'm not a big fan of those nasty scenes where you actually see her flippers though. When she gets wet, doesn't she, her legs turn into flippers? I always thought that was kind of nasty. Jason Sum asks if I plan on watching the Home Alone remake. I guess I wasn't even aware they were doing a Home Alone remake. Is that going to be on streaming, or where the hell is that going to be? I don't think I'd be interested in it. I can only imagine the whatever. It's probably not even. I don't even want to mention it, but I don't think I'd be interested in that. I didn't even know they were doing it. Oh, okay. Jason says it's on Disney's streaming service. Yeah, well, I don't have that, so we're good. Oh, holy Toledo. That's right. They own Fox now, oh my God, those bastards. Nah, I'll just watch the original. Okay, he recommends watching the trailer. It looks horrible. I'll do that just for a laugh. It's probably Kaisha McAllister, the black girl, fighting off the black and Asian wet bandits. Yeah, there's definitely something's going on. Makes the channel look good though. Well, sometimes we've got 18 thumbs up. Sometimes what we see live don't even show up. I've had shows where we've had like 3 likes, and then you go back later and then it's like 0. And I mean, it's not like what we get here necessarily stays, but it's just, I don't, it is kind of a mystery week, like mystery show in regards to the hitchhikers though. It's just like 18. Okay, so Matt gets deep with his question. He says, how are you holding up mentally in this hell world? Well, I got to tell you, just before the show started, I was just like thinking, yeah, I don't think things are gonna. I was just thinking we got to appreciate every day, every moment before the shit hits the fan because it's gonna. I think they're gonna hyperinflate the middle class and basically they're gonna do hyperinflation, which is gonna turn anyone who's not a billionaire into someone who can't afford to live is what's gonna happen. The middle and upper middle class and upper class are all going to be on the street, and the billionaires will be the only ones who can afford housing and heating and to live. I think that's really what's going to happen. Duh. Thanks for bringing it up. Jason says, nope, some kid from England with McDonald's product placement. Oh God. Okay. So he's got like a British accent. Does it take place in America? And he's got a British accent. Oh no, Kevin's getting into trouble. Had enough or you're ready for more? Oh no. Media Fanatic says, is it just me or I don't care about slipcovers? Why do collectors care so much about a piece of cardboard over the case of the Blu-ray? That's something that really boggles my mind as well, I must say. Is some people really seem to get obsessive about the slipcovers, and for me, it's about the movie on the disc, but that's just me. but I have to agree, like, I'm not like some kind of a slipcover psychopath. I guess it might be, OCD or something like that, but yeah, for me, it's like, you know, movie on the disc and the quality is what's important to me. Bio says Disney wants us to have the three-act structure overdose. Yeah, that's exactly it. Matt says WW3 without a shot fired. Yeah, if you've read, I can't remember who the hell it was, but I think it was after the First World War or something like that. I think it might have even been before World War II. Some guy penned this thing where he said there's going to be three world wars, and it's quite possible. Well, I'm not so sure about the no shot fired though, but that would be ideal. But yeah, there'll probably be shots fired, but oh god, but expect a third one at some point. That's the plan. Oh, you can always leave it to Matt for dragging us into the darkness. My mental state was fine until you mentioned it. How it was. But I can see his point in some regards because since last year it almost has been like WW3 without a conventional shot fired. A different kind of war. I think that's where he's coming from, but I think that's true. But I think it'll end up with actual conventional shots fired in addition to the ones out of needles. Jason says Top Hats Entertainment did a breakdown of the new Home Alone. The guy does awesome mini doc. Okay. Yeah, as always, I gotta say I'm not too interested in much of what's being produced and distributed now, but I mean, I do appreciate the questions, and I had no idea they were doing a Home Alone remake, but why not? More stuff on your streaming service to hopefully get people on your streaming service. I'm seeing a whopping 19 hitchhikers. I think there's something definitely going on here. Oh, Matt says they wrote books about it. Silent Weapons for Silent Wars, or Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Matt says, what do you think about the Rocky IV director's cut? I thought that was cool that he was doing it. I'm not a huge Rocky fan. So I guess it doesn't really matter to me, but I thought it was interesting that he was doing it. How much of extra footage was added? How long is the movie, the director's cut? And are you interested in it, Matt, or anyone else here? I'm just not the biggest Rocky fan in the world. Not a big boxing enthusiast. Well, Jason Sum brings up a good point. He says we already had WW3 doing over 20 years Forever War. Yeah, I'd read the rest of the comment, but I just want to make sure what I say is, yeah, please feel free to read the rest of his comment. So that is a good point, Jason. So I think Matt might check out the Rocky IV director's cut. That's cool. Yeah, that what would be really cool is if they came out with like a Rambo, like a First Blood or a Rambo 2 or Rambo 3 director's cut. I'm more of a Rambo guy than a Rocky guy, but I'd be interested in that. Oh, okay. Well, Matt does have a point for Jason. He says that didn't include the rest of the world like they are now. That's true, but I still understand Jason's point. Bio says looks like someone sponsored your video. What does that mean? Matt says they're going after almost every country, as far as I'm aware. Oh, if you're referring to, with because of what began last year, yeah, you're probably right. Like no country's free from that. Yeah, I think we're fucked and expect hyperinflation to wipe out everyone but billionaires. So I'm really, really trying my best just to enjoy every day as much as possible because the next one could be game over. I'm seeing 20 hitchhikers, which is insane around here. These around these parts, we never see these numbers. Jason says there was a infamous Rocky 5 uncut work print. Isn't that the Rocky that's supposed to suck, or generally the one that's not really liked, looked down upon? Bio says you've got 20 likes. That's true. Matt says I took the Miata out top down before I got on your video. Well, that's cool. What the hell's the temperature there? Of course, you do it in the cold as well, so that's very cool. Now Bio says 21 likes. What's this whole thing about my video being sponsored? What does that mean? Matt says it's almost 70 out and sunny today, so I took advantage of it. Holy shit, it's like 32 here. Congrats on that weather. I'm glad you took advantage of it. Oh, I feel bad that you had to stop driving around just to come listen to me blab about nothing. I hope you're not missing out because of me. You gotta take advantage of that kind of weather this time of year. Jason says, I'm just trying to decide whether if I'm safe reading this or not. We'll just let anyone interested in this comment read it just to play it safe. Thanks for the thought, Jason. That's true. You're right, though. Bio says the likes are growing as if someone bought them. There are services where you can buy activity on YouTube. Well, I'll tell you, I sure as hell didn't buy them. God, what a joke. Matt says, I like driving late at night more because I can drive a lot faster. Oh, okay. You're going to go out tonight and drive faster? Matt agrees with Jason's comment that you can read if you want to see what he said. I mean, I just don't read it for, reasons of whatever, YouTube stuff. Yeah, there's definitely something going on with the thumbs up this week. I'll tell you that much. Matt says he drove pretty fast today as well. Okay. Yeah, 70s. That's some good weather. I feel bad that you're sitting inside. Well, not that you're necessarily, we don't even know if you're sitting inside, but just listening to me blab. I'm seeing 2 whopping listeners. That can't be right. I mean, we've got Bio, Matt, and Jason. Must have lost. I wonder what ever happened to, we haven't heard from Gary in a while, but that's okay. Yeah, Matt says I could be outside. I'm not sure why you aren't, but I can always listen to my show after the fact, but then you wouldn't be able to contribute. Oh, I'd rather be out in 70-degree weather than contributing in a radio show with 3 whole listeners. Matt says I could just put you on my iPhone and walk around. I might do that. I don't know. I'm just in my shed now. Oh, Gary says, no, I'm still here. Okay, I didn't know if we lost you. I mean, the counter was like down to 2, and it's like there's 4 people here. I don't think the counter works. Jason says, okay, oh, okay, never mind. Read his comment in the chat if you want to. And just keep away from comments that might get me in trouble with TOS. Or yeah, we'll just say TOS. Thanks for the comment, Jason, though. I'm just careful what I read out loud these days. All right, everyone, about an hour into the show and possibly an hour to go. Don't you know? And Matt responds to Jason's comment. If you want to see what he says, check out the chat replay after the fact or chat live now. Bio says, yeah, I'm surprised YouTube didn't delete that comment. Gary says, very easy to get censored on YouTube these days. Yeah, I know. That's why I have to be careful what I say. Matt says, hey, Nate, I've been calling people comrades. Okay. You mean like at the grocery store? Bio says, when I mention something like that, my comment disappears. Yeah, Jason, some people I think some people are allowed to slip through the cracks though, but I understand what you're saying though. I think they let some people break the rules if they're a part of the plan or whatever. Oh, okay. Matt says we are comrades here, fellow comrade. Okay. I'm gonna just go see what. Okay, yeah, I went to my channel and it says 3 watching, so huh. Matt says, I think they let some people break the rules because they monitor in, but that's just a theory. Well, I think the people that get to break the rules are people that work for the bad guys, but that's just a theory of mine. Yeah, that's true, Gary. Nothing against Gary, but we're even going to remove that comment. I just don't like the V word on my channel. Nothing against Gary, but he makes a good point. Jason says, any plans to watch Day of the Dead TV series? No. Is that some new thing? I just recently rewatched the original movie from the 80s on Tubi, Day of the Dead, and in my opinion, that's must have been the lowest budget one of all of his up until that time because I mean I never really liked it, and there's aspects about it that are cool, but it's kind of depressing and dingy, and I guess I'm not a big fan of it, but it's okay if people are, obviously. Matt says that Gary, I would never mention things like that. Also, don't mention Santa Claus and other imaginary things. Gary laughs with tears. Jason says they also draw money with ad revenue and sell healing water, etc. Matt says, yeah, you got to censor that word. We don't say that word around here, Gary. Oh, okay. So Jason, some in referring to the Day of the Dead TV series, says it's actually really good. That's cool. Yeah, it could be bio. Matt says, I think people that get completely distilled water might be onto something like collecting rainwater and just drinking that. Problem is, if you are where I am, it's like 6 months out of the year you can't collect rainwater. I guess you can scoop up the snow and melt it, as long as it's not yellow. Jason says it's a TV series that fits more into Return of the Living Dead or Night 90s remake. It's surprisingly really good for a TV series. The plot or the pilot may be on YouTube. Okay, that's kind of cool. Matt says you collect snow, Nate. Yep, as long as it's white. Oh shit. I don't know if I can say that. Can't say anything anymore. Matt says, yeah, a guy made a video mentioning you wait a minute or so when it rains because that water will be contaminated as it catches all the pollution in the air. Then the rest of the water, he said, would be clean for you to drink. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I'm not really worried about extending my life. I don't think the world's going to be any kind of a place where we're going to want to live anyway. So I understand it's like a natural instinct to kind of want to be healthy and stuff, but these days it's like, I mean, health just means longer life, and do we want longer life? And with the way things are headed these days, I'm not so sure. Bio says, did I just mention colors? I mentioned one, a bad one. Jason says distilled water is one of those money grabs. Don't be fooled. Matt says, "Oh no, I'm just looking into stuff just so I have any water to drink." He's into energy drinks. Yeah, I'm not much into necessarily. I don't know. Whatever. Not so much into a lifestyle that prolongs life these days. God, I'm getting dark. Yeah, I hear you. Matt says energy drinks are his vice. Yeah, I suppose that same can be said for me in the old soda pop. I don't drink as much of it as I could, so and that's partly because it's just going up in cost so much, not because I don't want to drink it. Yeah, they got all kinds of people hooked on them energy drinks. Okay, Gary asks, Night of the Living Dead remake, Tom Savini, good or bad? I'd say you could do worse. I mean, a remake from 1990 is a lot better than a remake's going to be now, so I'd say mostly good. I don't like Barbara in the movie. The irony about the remake from 1990, Night of the Living Dead, is it's the Barbara aspect of it almost seems like it would be the way Barbara. I mean, it definitely would be how she would be now, but it's interesting how she was that way so long ago, where Barbara was, just the take initiative, whatever, Sarah Connor in that movie. So I'd say the 1990 Night of the Living Dead is more good than bad, I guess. We got classic, what the hell is his name? Bill Butler in there. He was in a lot of stuff in the late 80s, early 90s. I'd say you could do a lot worse than the original Night of the Living Dead remake. Jason says, yeah, energy drinks are Generation X new Coke. Very hard to kick. Yeah, very addictive. That's true. I can remember working at a video store, and this is like in, I don't know, '04, '05 or something. I think when one of the brands was just getting started, and they just, a truck just stopped and like brought us free cans just to get us hooked. I don't think I ever even opened it. I was paranoid. I was like, what's really in this if you're just giving it away? That's back when I didn't want to die. So I was too afraid to drink it, but probably for the best. I don't think I've really ever bothered with energy drinks, but obviously I'm hooked on the soda pop. So looks like Wade's here. Welcome. He says, I forget if I ever asked you this, Nate. Have you seen the original Night of the Living Dead colorized? Oh yeah, I have a VHS I got of that way back like in the early 90s or something. Yeah, I got that tape figuring that I could have it colorized, but I could turn down the color if I wanted to watch it black and white. Yeah, that's kind of goofy, but I do have that, and I think I've since got a DVD that's colorized for like $3 as well. That's just more of a curiosity. I don't think I've recently ever seen the whole movie colorized because let's face it, I mean, I'm a big huge fan of black and white, so that's one of the coolest things about Night of Living Dead is just the black and whiteness of it. But the whole idea of colorizing black and white movies was so funny to me. But yes, I have. Bio says I used to eat and drink all kinds of crap too until I broke my stomach and became a chemical detector that swells up like a airbag at any unhealthy meal. Yeah, from what I hear, that's what happens if you eat too much crap. I never made it that far. I never got that bad. At some point your body just won't have it anymore and lets you know about it. It's probably a blessing that the soda pop is going, the cost of it's going up because it does actually make me drink less of it. Jason says, but look, as Ripley in Aliens, women can be the lead and strong and tough. There are good and bad energy drinks. Yeah, that's true. I mean, women kicking ass isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like Aliens is a perfect example of just a woman kicking ass without having to be like making a huge statement about it. I guess I was talking more about what's her name in the Night of the Living Dead 1990 remake because she's even got the short hair, which is kind of like more of a current, you know. I never liked that about Barbara in the 90s remake because I like women with long hair, longer hair. Wade Wilson says, was Wizard of Oz shot in color or was that colorized back in the day somehow? I'm pretty sure that was, it was such a big, huge production that they actually shot the beginning, or not the beginning, the beginnings in black and white or whatever it is, black and brown. No, that was actual real color. That's how big of a budget and how much money they put into that movie. Wasn't that like 1939? Yeah, that was actual color. They didn't, from what I understand, they didn't colorize it. It was just color. And color was available, but it was, a lot of money. Bio says I'm a vegan now. Thanks a lot. Soda Pop. I changed the brand name to Soda Pop. Jason says Patricia Tallman from Night 1990 is a stunning looking woman. Not sure why they didn't put a wig on her. Yeah, I don't understand why she had to have that haircut in the movie. I mean, I never liked that from day one. I saw it. I didn't see it in the theater. We saw it on video when it was pretty new, and yeah, I never liked that haircut on her. Yeah, well, something happened with the likes this week. That's for sure. I can tell you, I sure didn't buy any. I don't barely pay for heating. I mean, I'm all wrapped up in a thick robe right now, so I don't even pay for heating. I'm not going to pay for likes. Wade Wilson has a beautiful looking Wizard of Oz Laserdisc. Yeah, I imagine there's a whole hell of a lot of releases of that movie. Wade says there were a bunch of Laserdiscs released of it. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Actually, nothing against Wade or, anyone listening, but I think my all-time, if someone were to ask me what movie do you like the least, Wizard of Oz probably would pop into my head. Not to say that that's the answer, but it's the first thing that would pop into my head. I hate The Wizard of Oz. Media Fanatic says my favorite is Return to Oz than the original by far. I think I saw, did that come out in the 80s? I think I saw that in the theater. Because that was the era of those movies like Labyrinth and Neverending Story and stuff. So it had kind of, wasn't there some character with a pumpkin head or something? Okay, he says yes, 84. Yeah, I think I saw that in the theater. But I don't think I've seen it since. But I'd probably have to agree with you on that, seeing as how the original movie is one of my most despised movies of all time. I think there was some kind of cool aspects to Return to Oz. Jason says if anyone wants a new Vice soda pop, has soda pop with coffee. It's simply awesome. Only if you like coffee, though. It's so good. Yeah, I hate coffee. Jason says Return to Oz is awesome. It's a gothic kids film. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it since I saw it in the theater. Might be interesting to revisit. Wade says, did you ever watch the Oz or whichever one is the black version of Wizard of Oz? It has Michael Jackson in it. I believe he plays the Scarecrow. No, I can't say as I have. Yeah, it might simply be. God, I don't know what the hell that's called. but I think I know what you're talking about. Gary says he had a great I Spit on Your Grave laser disc. Damn it. Can you remember like what the home video distributor was on that? That would have been that's too bad you I can only assume you don't still have it. It's too bad you can't have that anymore. That sounds cool. Oh, Jason says, yeah, The Wiz. That's the Michael Jackson Wizard of Oz thing. That's true. All right. That's solved. Media Fanatic says, I just bought Return to Oz on Blu-ray. I had to hunt it down on eBay because it's Disney Club exclusive. Damn them. Fucking assholes. Yeah, that's what I did with the Black Hole Blu-ray. Oh. Oh, never mind. Oh, okay. He turns out to be right. Jason says, referring to Gary Page's I Spit on Your Grave laser disc, it would have been elite. And Gary Page, in fact, confirms it was elite. Okay. Wade Wilson says, damn it, Jason beat me to it. That's okay. We know that you knew the answer as well. Bio says, this man really don't want to be sponsored by Soda Pop. I don't know. I try not to give huge, $1 trillion corporations any more ads than they because it's like they're already a name that's oversaturated in culture. So I guess that's where where my mindset is in regards to that. It's not so bad where I'm going to delete a comment that says those words, but I just feel like me saying it's just I don't know. I'm goofy. Jason says I spent a small fortune on Elite laser discs 18 to 20 years ago. Tell me about it. I'm glad DVD came around and because I was kind of getting sick of the whole laser disc thing and what they cost and stuff like that right around the time DVD came out. Gary says Return to Oz, really creepy, dark Disney film. Yeah, I can kind of have that recollection of it just being like goofy and like Tim Burton before really Tim Burton was around. Does anyone know who the hell directed it? Was it yeah, who does anyone know who directed it? Already an hour and 23 minutes into the show, probably go for another whatever and probably go for the standard 2 hours. I was trying to do the math but it wasn't going to happen, so forget it. Media Fanatic says there is a cult club whatever on YouTube. They collect laser discs. I don't understand that religion. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, some people, I guess, are just really into certain things. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say I'm that crazed about my movie interests. It's just kind of it's hard to self-diagnose. I don't know what I'd call myself. I mean, I'm a movie fanatic, but I mean, I'm not some crazed guy who I think I'm in just a perfect blend of movie enthusiast, but not overly insane necessarily, where I feel like I need to buy everything. So Wade says the 4 3 Laserdiscs, depending on the movie, can compete with DVD widescreen releases of Laserdiscs. Will usually lose big time to DVD unless the DVD has a bad release. Small Soldiers DVD is a bad release. Yeah, Wade talked about this last week. Oh, okay. Thanks, Bio. He says the director of Return to Oz was Walter Murch. Okay, so I'm not familiar with him. Jason says not really Disney, but the license. It was an indie film like Flight of the Navigator. Oh my God, I saw that in the theater too. Everyone like laughed when he said compliance, and it's like not even funny. Oh no, Wade's going on about Small Soldiers again. He says the Small Soldiers DVD is probably about the same quality as the one on Laserdisc. He's seen screen captures of the DVD on Capsaholic website. It's a website that compares DVD releases to Blu-ray. Media Fanatic asks, do I like buddy cop genre? Oh, you mean like Lethal Weapon and stuff? Nah, because I'm not big on cops. So, I mean, the Lethal Weapons are kind of cool, but yeah, I guess I'd have to pretty much say I'm not a big fan of the buddy cop genre, like maybe save for Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 or something. I can remember seeing, Lethal Weapon 2 was like double feature at the drive-in. Um, I can't remember if it was before or after Batman in 1989. But yeah, not a big buddy cop genre enthusiast here. Jason says Return to Oz turned out so adult/dark due to Disney not being involved. They just distributed it. Gary says Return to Oz was made in UK. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why either. Wade says I'm still upset about the fact that there's still many movies stuck on Laserdisc and VHS format, many of them being 80s horror movies. I don't know why Arrow Video or Scream Factory hasn't released them. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much to release. One of the ones that I think is overdue for a Blu-ray release is Summer Camp Nightmare, although it's not being PG-13. It's not really a slasher per se, but I'm waiting for a Blu-ray release of that from one of the boutique Blu-ray releasing companies. Summer Camp Nightmare. Can I hear an agreement from anyone? Or read one? Can I read one? Wade says probably something to do with copyright holders being stingy. Could be, but there's also so many movies and so little time. Gary says Dragon Slayer and other dark Disney Paramount this time. Wade says the Kindred still hasn't gotten a DVD or Blu-ray release. Oh, Wade's a lucky little son of a gun. He says he has Summer Camp Nightmare on Laserdisc. Well, gee, thanks a lot. That's the one with the guy from Tourist Trap. Yeah, Chuck Connors. Yep. Oh wow. Does anyone know that the one of the chicks from Summer Camp Nightmare actually watched and commented on my review of Summer Camp Nightmare? That was kind of cool. It was one of the girls who sings the song on the stage, the one who was raped. She watched and commented my review of Summer Camp Nightmare. Jason says it's more licensing than anything. Laserdisc got all sorts of odd, rare stuff. Media Fanatic says, what movie do you want to see get HD treatment on Blu-ray still in DVD VHS land. Yeah, that'd be something I'd have to actually think about, but definitely Summer Camp Nightmare as long as we're talking about it. But that'd be something I can't think of on the spot. It's a good question, though. How about yourself? Anything? Gary says, need the Keep on Blu ray. Jason's thumbs up. Haven't seen Summer Camp Nightmare in ages. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. Wade says, that's cool that she responded to your video. Was she in any other movies? Yeah, you'd have to look at her IMDb. I guess I don't remember. I know she was in on a website. She's in some McDonald's commercials or a McDonald's commercial. She was like she does like voice work or something. She was like the voice of something. You'd have to look at her website. I'm not very familiar with her, but I think the thing she's most known for is her voice work on some cartoon or something. I'm not 100% sure. Media Fanatic says Kindred is coming from Synapse soon on Steelbook for a whopping $50. Wade says, isn't John Travolta's nephew in Summer Camp Nightmare? Yeah, he's the guy who played Court in Jason Lives, Friday 13th 6. And after you mentioned it, that he does kind of have that John Travolta thing going on. Media Fanatic, he says he wants to see Run from 1990 on Blu-ray. Yeah, I can't say I'm familiar with that one. So many movies that need to get HD Blu-ray treatment. Wade says, yeah, the guy from Friday 6 is his nephew. Yep. Jason says, are there programs you can actually use? Oh, he says there are programs you can actually use that remasters DVDs, make them close to 720. Problem is it's hard to figure out which program to get. Yeah, I mean, I'm standard definition generation. I'm fine with just DVDs as DVDs, but for those who are more, interested in, I guess, HD, I can see wanting to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just fakery anyway, but I guess whatever helps make it look closer to HD, I guess, is whatever. All right, everyone, we've got probably about 37, or not 37, 27 minutes of the show remaining. I can do some math if I have to. Thanks once again, everyone, for showing up. Media Fanatic says, Can't Buy Me Love from 87. Still no Blu-ray release, free on YouTube with the great transfer. Yeah, I can remember watching that when it came out. That was really kind of one of them popular teen movies when it came out on home video, and my dad and I rented it. And, it had that chick from, once again, Jason Lives in it. What's her name? I can't remember her name. She's since gone on to get like a lot of work done on her face. But she's like, she had that really seductive line where it's like something about her bosoms. Like there's only, I don't know. She showed, yeah. Watch the movie, you'll know what happens. But yeah, supposedly that lead chick or whatever, Miss Cutie Pie in that movie is supposed to have since died. But that was one of the what's his name's claim to fame. I got that on DVD. You're bringing that up almost makes me want to just revisit that to revisit better times. I might have to recheck that out. Just kind of depressing. It's just like, oh my god, just the clicks and bullshit of being in school and stuff. It's cool to on one aspect and depressing on another. Yeah. Media Fanatic says the main girl died 2015, he thinks. Jason says Can't Buy Me Love DVD is garbage. Looks like a VHS. The main chick was purported to have died of OD. She was homeless. It's a downer. Yeah. Wade says Eyes of Fire needs a Blu-ray release. That's a pretty weird horror movie. I have that on Laserdisc as well. I always collect these weird horror movies that have yet to be released on Blu-ray. Yeah, I've never heard of Eyes of Fire personally. I think I did like a video, at least one, maybe two, but I know I did one for sure. I think it was last year, maybe a year before. That said, there was something like 5 movies that are overdue for Blu-ray release or something like that. I can't remember anything but Summer Camp Nightmare. Oh, I think Junior. Has anyone heard of Junior, the horror movie? I think I also said Junior. I don't think a lot of people even know about that movie. But if anyone wants to know about any other of my wish lists for movies to be released on Blu-ray, check out that video. It's like 5 movies that are overdue for Blu-ray release or something like that. Jason says, I don't think, referring to the chick from Can't Buy Me Love, I don't think she even has a tombstone. Wade says, oh, I just searched it. Apparently, Eyes of Fire is getting a Blu-ray release. I don't know if it's a proper release because I don't know the company releasing it. Have you heard of Severin? Yeah, you haven't heard of Severin? It's a proper release, Wade. Media Fanatic says she was 15 when she did You Can't Buy Me Love. They put her in a bikini. The guy was 21. She was only 15. That's kind of creepy now, thinking about that. Oh, I can remember the line now. Something like, I bet in the whole school there's only one more, you know what, rhymes with pretty. I don't know why I feel like I can't say the word. One more booby, quite so pretty. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have bothered. Well, once again, thanks to everyone for showing up. Had a kind of a rocky start where I was like, God dang, am I gonna have to just stop the show? Like, to anyone wondering, like, if I start a show and like barely anyone shows up, like if no one showed up for, I don't know, maybe 15 or 30 minutes, I'd probably just stop. But I don't think I've ever had that happen yet. I think a Nate and Beth show, it took over 30 minutes for any kind of decent conversation to happen. Oh, Jason says, what's my take on Nothing But Trouble getting a collector's edition Blu-ray? Really overlooked crazy film. Yeah, that's another one that we rented when it came out, when it was new on home video, and I have since got the DVD and stuff. And all I can remember is it's not very memorable. I don't think I really like it because I can never remember anything about it. I remember it just being, yeah, all I can remember about it is just being so goofy. Um, I mean, obviously, since I can never remember anything about it, for me, it's not very memorable. But there's always fans of, any kind of movie out there. So I'm glad that for the fans of it, it's, either has or is coming out on Blu-ray. But it's not something I'm going to need to have on Blu-ray. It seemed like, what's his name? Dan Aykroyd just played a bunch of, did he play more than one, kind of gross, creepy character and makeup? It didn't gel. The movie didn't do anything positive for me. So that's my take on it. But like I say, it's, you know, every freaking Blu-ray or that comes out, it's just one more victory for the old physical media revolution. Oh, Wade asks if I've watched any of the Friday the 13th TV show yet. No, not yet. We didn't get any, didn't get any of the DVDs. And Beth had, I think we talked about that on a Nate and Beth show. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I'm like, you can gift it to me, Beth. But no, maybe someday. It's not a top priority, but haven't gotten to it yet. Oh, okay. So Jason, I think referring to Nothing But Trouble says Dan Aykroyd must play the judge and a baby. Oh, okay. And then he says you never seen that from the 80s. I'm assuming he's talking about Friday the 13th show. When it was on, I wasn't interested in it because it didn't have Jason. So that's why I didn't see it back in the day. But I'm open to seeing it now. Beth says she watched it and she liked it. So I'm open to seeing it. Well, you know, it'd be funny to see John D. LeMay from Jason Goes to Hell. But from what I understand, he's one of the main characters in the show. Bio asks if I've seen Horror Express. It seems to me like that I may have started it but never finished it because I think it's on Tubi. Is that does that have Christopher Lee in it? Jason says Friday the 13th series was so good. First two seasons, awesome. Okay, well, now I'm intrigued. As I said, Beth likes it, so I'm just waiting for her to buy us the DVD series. I guess I could buy it for us, I suppose. For anyone that doesn't know, Tubi TV now has like a whole kind of a section on there with just like full moon movies. It's a whole little section, which is really cool. They've got like the Blu-ray scan of Crash, which I started and I've been meaning to finish. You know, that Charles Band ancient movie from the 70s about some killer car or something like that. I should go back and watch Crash before it, because with streaming services, you never know when it's going to, you know, come off it. So, but Tubi's got a whole section, you know, just dedicated to full moon movies, which is really cool. Bio says, yes, the one with Christopher Lee. I don't think I've seen all of the Horror Express. And referring to Friday TV show, Jason continues, for a TV show, it was really dark, was canceled due to parent groups going after them. God. Bummer. I watched some of Freddy's Nightmares back in the day. Anyone seen any Freddy's Nightmares? I've got the Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray collection. It's got two of the episodes from Freddy's Nightmares on there. The second episode actually has Lar Park Lincoln in it, which is really cool because she's right around the same age she was in Friday the 13th 7. Gary says, love Trancers. Yeah, I guess my full moon Tubi thing made him think of Trancers. Yeah, the first three are cool. I guess, well, maybe kind of the first five, but the first three for sure are kind of cool. Yeah, Tim Thomerson was just, you know, was a great guy. Is a fun actor. Jason says Friday TV show was hundreds of times better than Nightmare TV show in his opinion. That's cool. All right, everyone, about 15 minutes of the show remaining, I'm afraid, this week. Somehow we always manage to keep it going for 2 hours. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things to watch. And now that it's winter, I guess there's lots of time to watch it. It's just occurred to me we haven't seen anything from Matt for a while. Maybe he got out of the shed and is hitting the town in the convertible with the show playing on his phone. He should go driving around with a big speaker with the show playing on it. Oh, JC is back. He says, I wonder if Friday the 13th, the TV show, would have been more popular if they didn't use the Friday the 13th name. I feel like many people were disappointed because Jason wasn't in it. Yeah, that was perfectly explains me as a kid back then. He says it's like calling a TV show Halloween and having nothing to do with Michael Myers, or the third film, which disappointed some people at the time period. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it is a little bit of a cheat, to call a show, make a TV show based off a name that clearly represents something else in the movie world. So I hear where you're coming from. That's one good thing you can say for Freddy's Nightmares. At least it was about Freddy. The irony about the Freddy show is it wasn't even called the Nightmare on Elm Street TV series, and it had Freddy. And the Friday the 13th TV series didn't have Jason. That was kind of ironic. Jason says the TV series was actually very popular. It has a cult following, referring to Friday the 13th. The final episode was going to have Jason mask tie into the films. That's kind of cool. Sounds like it didn't, though, huh? Don't spoil the final episode. Damn, I haven't even started watching it. Damn. JC says, I feel like that cult following came years afterwards. It may, we're going to have a fight. It may have had ratings when it came out, but I think it would have been more if it didn't use the name. It's fine if we disagree. I don't know. I mean, if you disagree with Christ, don't you go to hell? Yep, another slam bang show. Let's see here. Yeah, it's funny, getting back to what I kind of started the show with, the upcoming New Year's Evil Blu-ray by Kino Lorbar. Lorber, I always make that mistake. Lorber. It's kind of funny on blue-ray.com. It says late 2021, but it's like we still don't have a cover or release date or anything. It's like, it's pretty close to the end of the year. Maybe it won't come out in time to watch it on New Year's Eve, but anyone in the show or after the fact planning on getting the new Blu-ray of New Year's Evil who might have missed out on the Scream Factory version? Jason says, okay, continuing the argument. No, the Jason tie-in. Oh, okay, he's not continuing the argument. He says he's kind of okay. He says the Jason tie-in never happened growing up. Around that time, everyone watched that show. It had an oddball mainstream appeal. Jason says, trust Kino. They've been killing it. Okay. Well, I'm not in the market for it because I got the Scream Factory one, but I was just talking about people that may not have had a chance to get the Scream Factory one. I know it's always a a revelation when something goes out of print and then another outfit comes around and does a new Blu-ray, because then they can stop being scalped on eBay if they want to get a copy of it on Blu-ray. JC says maybe if Nate is lucky enough when he finally does a review of season 1 of Friday the 13th with John D. LeMay or someone connected to the show might respond to his video. I don't, yeah, here's a fun story. So back in 93, it was August, was it August 13th? It very well could have been. When Jason Goes to Hell came out, John D. LeMay was actually at the theater we went to see it at, and he signed posters. And I always wondered why he was at a theater in Minnesota, of all places. But I guess he grew up here, so maybe he was just, visiting family, or maybe I can only assume he was just here anyway. And he showed up with a big, huge stack of posters, which, I hate the poster for Jason Goes to Hell, but he signed us Jason Goes to Hell poster before the movie. I still got that. So that's a fun John D. LeMay story. Got to shake his hand, and we went with a bunch of friends, and one of my friends' younger brother says, "You play Jason, right?" And I was just like, oh, I was so embarrassed. It's just like, oh God. I mean, I didn't even know what the hell John D. LeMay did in the movie because we hadn't seen the movie yet, but I knew he didn't play Jason. And JC says, "Oh yeah, I forgot he's from Minnesota. He's a big Minnesota Vikings fan. I've seen his Twitter profile picture, and he has a Vikings hat on. That sounds cool. You met him." Yeah, it's it wasn't that cool at the time, because to us, he was just I'd never seen him in anything, at the time. It would have been cooler if I had been a fan of the Friday show, because then it'd be like, oh wow, it's him from the Friday TV show. But at the time when we met him, like none of us had seen him in anything before. But it was cool to meet him and then get a poster signed and then go into the theater and see him on the big screen and help quote unquote kill Jason. But yeah, it would be cool if he commented on a video. But that was a kind of a fun day. Jason says John LeMay is actually a good actor. It's a shame he never got more big roles. Yeah, he was kind of that everyday, had that everyday, everyman thing about him. And that's one good thing I can say for Jason Goes to Hell. He was pretty fun in it. It seems to think Jason's coming for you. Bio says, Nate, have you seen Masters of Horror TV show? It doesn't ring a bell. When's it from? Old days or more recent, or what? What is it? I don't do a whole hell of a lot of TV shows. All right, everyone, we're approaching the hour and 55 minutes into the show, which means only 5 minutes will be remaining at that point. Wade has I don't even know if Wade's still here, but he has a habit of trying to, like, I don't know if it's him trying to keep me longer, but he'll be like asking questions like right up until the end, and I just have to, when I see the 2 hours, I just have to bail. Oh, okay. Bios says Masters of Horror is from 2005. Yeah, I can't say I've seen it. I don't know if Wade, I'm scrolling back up. He might not even be with us anymore. Jason asks if I'm interested in the Resident Evil remake. It looks to take a lot from Romero's original script. Could actually be a faithful How do you say that? I think it's adaptation. Yeah, I'm not a big Resident Evil fan, I'm afraid. Pardon me. That 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 response might actually disappoint a lot of people, but never been big into that personally. But if it, if it's truer to like so what? So wasn't that a video game first, and then they like made a movie about it? So what? George Romero wrote a script that was never made. So I mean, if they make you know a better movie than they did the first time around, then I guess that'd be a win. Oh, Wade is still with us. He asks if I've watched the Blade DVDs yet. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. All right, everyone. About 4.5 minutes of show left. As always, as I'm approaching the 2 hour mark, I'm like dead and just, brain numb mush from reading chat for 2 hours. But as always, it's been a pleasure to have you guys show up and do this. A little bit of a rough start if you listen to it from the beginning, but we made it through. Just have to try to have a plethora of things to talk about while I wait for people to show up. Now, the Blade DVDs really aren't high on the list, honestly. So that may never happen. Jason says Blade 3 is actually good. Don't let negative people tell you otherwise. Okay, I won't. Bio says this is a horror anthology with each. Oh, referring to Masters of Horror TV show. It's a horror anthology with each episode directed. Oh, yeah, by acclaimed horror directors like John Carpenter, Larry Cohen, Don Coscarelli, Joe Dante, Guillermo del Toro, Stuart Gordon, Toby Hooper. Yeah, I remember that. I think you forgot. Oh, no, wait, you did say John Carpenter. Yeah, I think I remember that. No, I was never interested. Gary Page is getting the idea. He's getting the hint. He's wrapping up, saying our farewells for the week. He says, Nate, see you next week, maybe next week. Up to 50 listening. Yeah, we'll get 50 thumbs up next week. A mystery thumbs up. Thanks for showing up, Gary. Don't worry about if it was late. Life comes first. Wade says, oh, JC is your homeboy. Friday the 13th is fantastic TV show, and I think Nate should watch it. After each season, it would be nice for you to review it and give your thoughts on it. In a perfect world, that would happen. Oh shit, C-Snap, sorry, man. The show's just about to end. Damn it. Jason, thumbs up. Wade Wilson, yeah, that would be cool. I don't know when or if that's going to happen, but that would be cool. Sorry, C-Snap, the show's almost over, and no, I'm not going to stay late, man. Starts at noon Central Time. Oh, man. You got 2 minutes of us, though, C-Snap. Quick, say what you want to say. Show starts at noon Central Time every Thursday. He says, did you hear the news that William Sadler is the new Mr. Barlow in the new Salem's Lot? No, I didn't. Wade says it's nice in South Jersey. I am probably going to go for a jog even though I shouldn't. I still have a splinter in my left foot and it hurts. Plus, I didn't sleep well. Yeah, maybe just a walk then. I know, it sounds like it's really nice on the East Coast today. It's 34 here. Bio says, I love strawberries. Way to go. Yeah, they're pretty good. All right, C-Snap, maybe you can show up sooner next. Oh, speaking of which, I don't know what the plan is for the show next week. So I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on with the show next week. Wade says, uh-oh, bye, Nate. Nathan's famous hot dogs. It's almost 3 p.m. here. Jason says Sadler can do anything. Yeah, I don't know who the hell Sadler is, but we've got like 30 seconds left. Hope to see you maybe a little sooner, possibly next time. See Snap. I'll be sure to keep you guys posted on what the status of next week's show is because of the quote unquote holiday and all. I don't know what's going on, but I will keep you guys informed. Jason says, do it, Sat. I don't know what the hell that means. Bio says, I hope we will play board games. Okay, so he's just talking gibberish now. What a perfect time to end. I think someone's coming up behind me. Oh, crap!